My name is Tracy Geller. I'm the owner of Your Health Made Simple, and today what I'm going to do is take you on a tour through a grocery store, hopefully help you learn how to shop a little cheaper but cleanly, and let's get started. Okay, so before you shop, it's highly important that you don't shop when you're hungry, because when you shop hungry, you're going to go after everything that's wrong for you. And that's the last thing that we want you to pick up at the grocery store. The second thing is we want to make sure that you have your meals planned and a list put together, so that you walk into the store, you know exactly what you're going in there for, and you aren't going to be tempted to go down the wrong aisles. So the other thing that we're covering this for is most people, when they decide they want to get clean or have a need to get clean medically, they're very concerned about the fact that it's going to cost them a lot of money. And what this video will hopefully show you is that you don't have to spend huge amounts of money shopping. We're going to tell you how to do it. So is eating clean more expensive? Well, it could be, and it depends, but it doesn't have to be. So if you're eating clean, hopefully you're cooking at home, meaning you're not eating out, so you've just saved all of that money eating out, because a meal eating out even at a fast food place is about $10 to $11. What if you could feed your whole family for $11 for one meal? So, and not all foods have to be bought organic. That's really important. You can, here we go.
It's gonna happen. That's okay.
Can I just start from there?
Yeah,
Sure.
Okay. Not all foods have to be bought organic, nor do they have to be bought at the expensive stores. So the expensive stores, we don't want to talk about them on the video, but we know which ones they are. You can shop healthy at your regular grocery store. So let's learn to shop there. What do we need? At the entrance of the store, I want you to be really careful, because number one, either on the right or the left of you is going to be a Starbucks or some coffee type of store with all kinds of wonderful goodies to eat. You don't want those. We want you to keep going past those. And the next thing you're going to run into is whatever our national holiday is, all those bakery goodies that are right there at the front. You want to avoid those as well, and all the fabulous snacks that they've got there staring you in the face, and the fresh loaves of bread that just came out of the oven. You're going to avoid those also. So from here, we're going to move into produce, because it should be right there. So we're in the produce section, and the group I want to tell you about is the EWG, which is the Environmental Working Group. Their website is ewg.org. You can get onto that website and look up the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen. And what that's going to do is highlight to you the foods, the produce that you have to buy organic or should buy organic, and the produce that you don't have to buy organic. Another really good reference that I like to use is this book called Rich Food, Poor Food by Jason Colton and his wife Mara Colton. And in this book, it tells you how to shop a grocery store, probably better than I'm going to do right now, but this is just more of a highlight. On this current revision of the book, on page 132, they actually have their own list of their Fab 14 and the Terrible 20. So this is also a really good reference. And this book walks you very nicely through a grocery store as well. So in the produce section, again, and I've got a bunch of things here. We did a little haul at the grocery store. These are some of the vegetables that you do probably need to buy organic. So we're looking at cucumbers. Why organic? Because there's probably a lot of chemicals involved in the raising of these crops. So two things. You want to look for organic if you can, but the other thing too is locally grown. And even though they may not all be organic, they're probably going to be a lot healthier. They've come to the grocery store faster. They aren't picked while they're still not ripe and ripened along the way. So the nutrient value in comparison to the organic value is sometimes a good thing to consider. So if you can't get the organic version, good thing to go for locally grown. We also have broccoli in here, and we've got some squash in the bag and zucchini, all items that you would want to go for from an organic perspective. Parsnips, not so much, because people don't like them so much. So you can go ahead with local grown for parsnip. We've got some carrots in the bag too. And the other thing that you can get in the produce section, which a lot of people are using now for their shakes and things like that, which I like to do, is spinach and these other types of leafy greens. Definitely you want to go organic with these. The reason for that is these are so treated in these types of crops that you want to make sure that you're definitely buying organic. And we're going to move next past the deli. So we're moving on to the deli, which I just said in the last little bit. At the deli, there's a lot of gluten in the deli. And if you're eating clean, you kind of want to steer clear of gluten. If you're gluten sensitive, you absolutely want to steer clear of gluten. So the deli meat, generally full of gluten. And if you are going after packaged meat for sandwiches, things like that, please make sure it's organic. Please make sure it says it's gluten-free. Otherwise, we're just going to move on now to all the cuts of meat. So when you are looking to buy meat, you want to make sure that you're looking for all natural with no antibiotics fed, no hormones, no animal byproducts, and potentially range-free. And this is just something that I picked up as I was looking for some meat in the meat section. And the other thing you can see here with regards to the chicken is that they're raised with no antibiotics fed, all vegetarian diet. And you can also look for cage-free birds, but that's the type of thing that you're going to look for when you go into the meat section. The other thing, there's a lot of questions surrounding bacon. Bacon actually is not that bad for you. You just want to make sure that you're getting a good quality bacon, and if you can avoid the sugar-cured bacon, that's even better. And next we're going to move on to the bakery. Are we good?
Yep.
Okay. So, already did that. Okay, so we're going to go from the bakery to the baking aisle, and at that point, I'm probably going to try to pull things from out of here,
Okay.
if that's okay, but that's going to make a lot of noise, isn't it?
Go ahead and try
Just-
it. Let's see how much noise it makes.
Okay, okay.
That's okay.
Are we good? Okay. All right, so we're headed to the bakery. In the bakery, there's really nothing here for you. So we're just going to move past this really fast. And why is that? There's gluten in everything. There's sugar in everything. Sugar causes a lot of inflammation in the body. If you're really thinking about getting clean, this needs to be minimized, absolutely minimized. And the gluten, it's not good for it. So we'll move now up to the baking aisle, which is where we would normally buy our sugars, our flours, and we're going to talk about some alternatives to those because there are alternatives. It's just things that we're not used to buying, and because I don't actually have them in the grocery bags, we're going to go into the cupboards. And we're going to talk about a few things in here while we're here. You're going to see some things that should never be bought, and I'm going to show that to you right now. These Oreo cookies, yeah, no. These are the worst cookie you can buy ever. Don't buy these cookies. Why are they in my kitchen? Because other people live in the house besides me. Okay, things that people use a lot of. Coconut flour for baking. This stuff's really, really good. It actually adds a little bit of flavor, a different flavor, but it's all right. I make my favorite cookies out of this hazelnut meal flour. So Bob's Red Mill actually creates a lot of really good alternatives for different kinds of flours. And this hazelnut flour, I actually like it because I make my chocolate chip cookies out of this. And it tastes quite a bit different, but it's got a lot of good flavor. You want to look for this type of chocolate, Enjoy Life. And you may not be able to get this at your favorite grocery store, but guess what? All this stuff's on Amazon or on Thrive, or you can stop at your other local, more expensive store. But as I said, it's full in here of different alternatives. Coconut sugar as well. You can also use maple syrup. If you're buying maple syrup, look for a grade B. Baking, lard. People actually use lard, and it's actually not as bad for you as people thought it was. That's why I have such a big container, and you're probably all making faces, but it really is part of a good, healthy diet because you need your fats. And let's see what else is in here that I can show you. Oh yeah, these kind of things, don't buy these either. These are terrible for you. I think that's it. And we're going to move on next to the dairy. So we're in the dairy. In the dairy, this is another place where there's a lot of items that you want to maybe consider not buying. And I know even with some of our paleo people that like their paleo diets, dairy is an option for paleo people, but dairy does create a lot of inflammation in the body. So if you're looking to clean out your system and looking to get healthy, it's better to just eliminate the dairy. Now, we just talked about fats being good for you, so a good quality butter is still okay. And I have a couple of examples here of some butters that I buy when I'm in the grocery store, and I tend to go for the European styles because they're a little different and a little cleaner. Or I just go to the local German store and I buy butter that's come in straight from Germany. Costco also has an Irish butter too that's very good. So yogurts, that's a toss-up. And if you're going to eat a yogurt, get a very good Greek yogurt. Stay away from the yogurts with all of the flavors, with all the fruit added. You just want a plain yogurt for a prebiotic and probiotic perspective, but it's still dairy. So you may want to consider staying away from the dairy. So alternatives to milk, we've got our almond milks, we've got our coconut and rice milks. Those are all great options, but pay attention to the ingredients. Some of them have a lot more preservatives in them that are not so good for you, so carrageenan. There are a lot of gums that they like to use in those for thickening agents, so the least amount of ingredients that you can't pronounce is what you're looking for. And next we're going to go ahead and move on to the eggs. So what we're looking for are cage-free chickens that are vegetarian fed, never treated with antibiotics or hormones. So I'm not necessarily promoting this brand, and nor am I promoting anything that I've shown you. However, these are an example of cage-free white eggs. Either white or brown, that's up to you. Or if you have your own chickens, as a lot of people do here in Colorado, you don't need to shop for them, and that's great. Just don't have a rooster, please. We're going on to frozen food now. But since we're not actually at the grocery store, we're going to go into my freezer, and I'm going to show you more of what not to buy. It's so much fun. Waffles. Yeah, no, these are not good for you. Oh, I better cut out the name. Sorry, these are not good for you. What are we looking for in here? I have a lot of different things that I've purchased, that I've cut up, that I've got frozen here that's ready to go. But the thing that I really want to show is fruit. And unfortunately, this fruit right now is not organic, but it gives you an idea of what you can use, especially for your smoothies. It's great. So the reason that we go for frozen is it does tend to preserve some of the nutrient value of the product. And so if you're concerned about your fruit going bad in the fridge while you're waiting to make your smoothies or to eat, the frozen fruit is actually okay. But if you can buy an organic brand, much better to do so. Other things that you really want to avoid in the frozen section, these kind of meals, they're terrible for you. They're full of chemicals, they're full of too much salt, too much sugar, bad fats, awful. So don't do that. Let's see what else I got in here. Yeah, the jumbo butterfly shrimp. Let me cover the name again. Don't do that. It's breaded with a bunch of crap, and although it probably tastes phenomenal, not doing yourself any favors. So when you hit the frozen food section, absolutely.
It's gonna fall. Well, I was looking at it and it started
to go down like this.
Yeah.
Just keep going.
It's like, oh no, it's not.
Okay.
You can just start over with the bag of Bertolli. It's so good, but it's got so much salt in it.
Oh my god. I don't even have my
Don't tell
glasses
me
on.
what
No,
percentage.
seriously. Can you look at this list of I'm just going to say this.
God.
Oh my.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're back with the bag of are we good?
No.
Okay.
Okay, now we're back.
We are back with this bag. I don't want to say the name. But this stuff, the reason I'm going to say why it is so bad, look at the size of the label for ingredients. That's when something is that big, you know it's bad for you. And there are probably so many words in here, and I don't have my glasses on, sorry, but that I can't even pronounce. You know it's bad for you. Should we go back to the shrimp? Yes, we should go back to the shrimp. I've covered the name again. This is just, again, The ingredients are way too long, and you know what? High fructose corn syrup in here. That's in shrimp. That's terrible. So stay away from anything in boxes or bags like this that look like meals that you can make for dinner. You want to be doing your own cooking. And now we're going to move on to the grains aisle, where we find our rices and our pastas. So now we're in the aisle, pasta, rice aisle, and I wanted to talk about a couple of things because we're not going to look at pasta the way you're used to looking at pasta. We're going to go for some alternatives because, again, they're gluten-filled. And a lot of people are going to go for a different rice alternative too, which is brown rice. So I have some brown rice here. Again, you want to try to go for organic, and the reason for that is because it's much cleaner. There's a lot less things in it. So when you look at the ingredients, it is literally one line. And this is very good. When it comes to pasta, you want to start looking for different alternatives as well. And this is a quinoa pasta. You can get rice pasta. You can get also brown wheat pasta, which you probably don't want. That's got gluten in it. But there is a lot healthier version than what you're normally used to eating. And this is great for people that are looking to clean up your diets. If you are gluten-free, if you have autoimmune, you probably want to stay away from these types that I just showed you because when it comes to brown rice, there's still a shell. And if you're having difficulties with gluten, your body could recognize both the quinoa and the brown rice as something that it should be attacking, and you're trying to put things into your body that your body isn't going to reject or want to create additional antibodies against. So other alternatives from a white rice perspective, and a lot of people say stay away from the white rice, and that's great, but if you do have autoimmune, you do need your starches. And so basmati rice is a really great alternative to like your Uncle Ben's white rice or your minute rice. You want something that's a lot healthier and a lot cleaner for you to be able to cook and eat. And next we're going to move on to the snack aisle. We're going to talk about snacks. And the snack aisle is something that's really hard for people to get away from because we've been living on this for so long. And I can tell you exactly when my snack problem started. I was 12 years old. I would come home every day after school. I would watch Star Trek with my mother. And we would eat a bag of Tostitos. That's when it all started for me. So these are really hard to get away from, which is why I have a bag like this in my kitchen. However, it's organic. And there's no gluten in here. And so every now and then when I need something, I will give myself something like this. And you can find potato chips that have been cooked in coconut oil that are gluten-free. You can find potato chips that have been cooked in avocado oil. Or you can go for a gluten-free corn type chip. Just keep it clean with as least ingredients as possible. Again, sorry, the back of my bag is ripped, but the ingredients in here are pretty small. So that's what you're looking for when you're going for snacks. Just keep it to a minimum and make sure that you're buying clean snacks. I'm going to take you back into my cabinets again because the cereal aisle right now is in my cabinet. I want to talk about some of these. And even though this box says gluten-free, there's still a lot of grains in here. There's still a lot of things in this cereal that really isn't that good for you. So if you're looking to get clean, we want to steer clear from the cereal aisle in general. And we're going to learn how to have a different type of a breakfast, right? We're also used to this Americanized or very westernized breakfast style, and it's actually not very healthy. We've also got some juice up here. It says 100% grape juice. It is so full of sugar. It's really doing a disservice to your body. I know a lot of people like to give their kids juice, and we do have quite an epidemic of diabetes, even with children and obese children. These are the things that are not doing our children any favors, nor ourselves any favors. So, and yes, they're still in my cupboards, and no, I don't eat them. Let's talk about some of the other things that we just generally have around the kitchen that you might be looking to buy in the grocery store. So I'm just going to show the back of the bottle. We all know what this is. This is their Simply Healthier version. but we've still got a lot of ingredients in here. We've got a lot of sugar, a lot of onion powders. Not really sure that this is all organic. It's here because people get used to this as they grow up, and it's part of their food eating experience, but it's really good if you can make your own. It's really good if you can purchase a much cleaner version, and they do have them. Same goes for this color bottle. And even though this is also sort of clean, it's still not very good for you. So let's talk about vinegar in general. When you're trying to be clean, you're going to look for an apple cider vinegar. You kind of want to stay away from all the other vinegars. All the other vinegars promote yeast growth in the body, and we're trying to eliminate that because that's something that isn't doing us any favors. So apple cider vinegar is something that actually works to make your gut a little more acidic, to help get rid of some of those things that you might be fighting or unbalanced in your gut. This is really good for baking and cooking with. We've got our coconut creams and our coconut milks, and you may be able to get this at your local grocery store. If not, your local Trader Joe's has things like this for baking and cooking. When it comes to oil for cooking, you want to stay away from your vegetable oils. You want to go to more cleaner oils like your coconut oil here. And the reason that I have gotten such a big container of it is I went to Costco for this actually, and it's just easier to buy larger quantities because I use it all the time. Olive oils are also very, very good for you, very good for cooking. I don't actually pick mine up at the grocery store, but when you do, you want to look for extra virgin. You want to make sure that they're in dark bottles. It preserves them better. But there are companies out there that you can get onto a quarterly shipment of olive oils, and they're different kinds from around the world. They are very, very, very clean. So that's another alternative as well. All right, so we have just completed our tour of the grocery store. Hopefully you've learned a little bit. Hopefully you've learned how to shop organically. Hopefully you've learned how to shop a little cheaper. And next time you head to the grocery store, hopefully you'll have a much better experience. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. And people are kind of saying, here we go, another blooper. Okay, we're good? Sorry, I lost my train of thought for a minute, so just give me a second.
Make sure I have that. Definitely need
That part, that movie. That'll be how the whole thing is.
That generally, God bless America. Okay. No, I can't stop laughing. This is a problem right now, okay? That. I know.